Hi, hey, hello, I'm Ancient80 and welcome to episode 3 of Grimden, my Skylines 2 playthrough. As you can see, not a right lot has changed, and I want to do a little bit differently in this episode. So, what you've seen at the minute, I'm not going to go through how I've done things because that is just boring. The first two episodes, you'll get the picture of what I'm attempting to do. So, yeah, I'm just going to make it a little bit more entertaining for you, and a little bit shorter as well. But yeah, let's go and have a look at the first thing that I've done. So what I wanted to do was to really add some detail into the estate, and I looked at a famous old football ground called Kenilworth Road, and that is the home of Luton Town. And I had a look on Google Earth, and what strikes me about that ground is that you've got a housing estate literally next to the ground, and it's quite common. The ground was there first, then the houses were built around it, and usually you get people complaining about the noise from the football stadium, even though they chose to move next to a football ground. You get that in Britain. But one of the key things that Kenilworth Road has is gates that actually go in between houses. So you're going into a gate to get into the ground, you're actually going through a section of somebody's house. Although it's not technically their house, it's sealed off, you're still going through a house. Now how was I going to do that on this? Well, you've got the shops, the shell of the shops, the mixed residential and commercial, and that's what I've done. And as you can see here, I've got like some window shutters as gates. It don't look great, but I haven't got anything else to do at the minute. So yeah, that's kind of how I've done that. And I put some of the CGI blocks, or CG blocks, just to add to the detail of the stand as well. So that is the away end. It's not like they've got an area now. I know we had parking there. No, I've gone for the estate feel. So I think that looks good. It's all sealed off. Basically the away fans, they all come down the estate and they leave. That's it. So I'm pleased with that, because there isn't anything else that I can do to make that look better, given what mods are available and what I've got to work with. So I'm pleased that I've managed to be able to achieve that to some extent. Another thing Kenilworth Road has is a railway line going right by the side of the stand. So I decided I'm going to put one in, and I think it adds to a little bit of the variety, is that the word I'm looking for, of the estate. It also splits it into two, and I've got two bridges from a main road. Basically goes here around and then back on here. So there's two bridges. There is a third and a fourth over here when I eventually need it, but yeah, there's just two main bridges. I had to raise these bridges slightly and lower the terrain around where the road goes across, so I get rid of the white walls, because if you just put them over, then you get the white walls going through the middle of the road, which doesn't look good. So that's nice. One thing I have noticed is if I do this, look at that. Oof. Yeah. Something that happens. There's nothing I can do about that. But you won't get that when you're building, so you're alright, or you shouldn't. So that was another thing that I wanted to include in this. And obviously we've got two rail lines. There's the intersection here, and that's because I want basically the station. This is going to be the main station for the stadium, and this is just a direct route, so they will all merge at some point again over here. So yeah, I think it looks good, and I don't want the station too close to the ground, so everybody will be coming back on here, especially the away fans walking on. Now I got rid of the parking. Parking is a bit of a challenge at most football grounds. Kenilworth Road does have a little bit of parking, so I am going to include some, probably on like maybe over here or over there. It'll be like a bit of a custom car park, a bit of wasteland or something that they're using. I'm going to be building the industrial estate right there, so that little path that I'm hoping to build, you know, it's going to be towards in the middle of an industrial estate where they'll also provide jobs. I think that is an area where parking can occur. It'd be also more realistic that way. The main town area is going to be somewhere over here, I think. So the football stadium's just going to be out of town. So this is a bit of a, I wouldn't say an urban area, but definitely a suburban area. But that is that. Another thing I've done, what you might have noticed if you have paid attention to the last video, I don't think many of you have, it's okay. I moved the church and the school from there to here. Now why have I done that? Well, the school probably would have fitted in. It's a new build, it's great, that you could probably put that in there, but the church was probably built a lot longer before the football ground. And I just don't think there would be too many red brick houses around the church. So yeah, I thought I'd move it up here, I'd put a bit of parking down. So I think this is a better area for it, but I'm going to have to kind of, you know, maybe do something. I might even move it further on, because that highway road is in close proximity, and I don't think that looks right either. So yeah, that's something I'm going to look at again. But we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. When looking at the football ground, I wanted to kind of get it a little bit more realistic, so I lowered the stands, which in a way helps, but it also gave me a couple of other problems, like the gates. So I've kind of done something here. It doesn't really make any sense at the minute. It's not great. I might need some shutters on them or something, but that's actually a house in there with some CG blocks. And I've got another one over here as well. But the more you do, the more you struggle to move things around. And it's not just the football pitch decal that's causing it. You know, move it can just play up, and if it starts doing that and you can't move anything, you're best off just leaving it, saving the game, coming out and coming back into it. But you know, I can't move anything. I'll just show you. I can't move these buildings here. I can only move the stands and the decals, right? I can't even move that, I don't think. Or maybe I can move that, but I don't want to. It's rather confusing and annoying. So, you know, you're going to get that. So just be careful when you are trying to build something brilliantly creative. That it could go wrong, and this here, yeah, I got rid of that because I thought it might be causing the problems. It's been a nightmare to get back in to the right spots. So that's something you're just going to have to be wary of, sadly. What this little area here is it's like a fan zone area. I thought I'd put that in just as a bit of a filler around the ground, so whilst that nobody goes in there at the minute, I've got to sort the paths out for that. It just looks nice, and this is not going to be, there's never going to be a match day here, sadly. But it does look kind of nice. It sorts out a little corner. So yeah, there's a little bit of a fan zone area, community run, and I don't like something here. I don't like this tree that's through the wall. So that's a move it job. Will move it work? Yeah, it will. Yeah. So that's good. That looks a lot better, don't you think? Maybe. And finally, there's this area here that I'm doing behind this row of terraces here, and I'll need to extend that up here, and probably extend that here. They're just props, but they look good. Sometimes it's just about making things look good. Yeah, I want a bit of a housing estate here. I think that'd look good, and that'll be like the boundary, or one of the boundaries to the town. And over here I've got a few of the services and everything. I want to kind of keep pushing out this way, but this will be like going into rural areas until another town comes along. Could I move the railway line over here? Yes, I could. At the minute I'm not going to, but I've also done a bus station here. It's a nice bus station, a small one. I needed the transport links, but I haven't done much more with that. And obviously there's taxi ranks as well outside the ground, which helps. That's why you're seeing a load of taxis going around. I think I'm just trying to get some inspiration from other places, and I don't want to make it like too nice with, you know, trees and everything, but usually you're going to get them around railway lines to help with the noise. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do. And then obviously up here, as you saw in the last video episode, I've really decided to pull this up and have like bushes at the side. Maybe I was thinking perhaps possibly a park area, like a walkway or something, but I think I need to get some more people living in the city. And we're going to have to do a bit more commercial area over here as well. We've got a lot of traffic actually heading onto the motorway, which is a freaking nightmare. I haven't even looked at that yet. So you get the picture. Perhaps if I did something like go roundabout in. Will it work? Probably not. I think the problem is it's this area here. What I don't like that is going that way. Things do seem to be moving a little bit better. Well, kind of. This is the only entrance in. I am going to build another one over here. It might alleviate some things, but yeah, we'll see. Just finally, looking at some of the mods that I've got. Haven't used that. I don't think I'm going to use that. That's a bit complicated. It's right everywhere. Road Builder would be interesting. Don't know about that. Traffic's alright. That is traffic light enhancement. I can look at that in a bit. But performance monitor is really impressive. So frame rate, it won't go above 30, but already it's dropping to like 26. But I think this is good. It helps with your computer and the graphics card. The GPU is always the one that's going to be pushing 100%. That's a bit of a problem for me. I'm on a RTX 5060 Ti Asus Prime. Yes, 5060 Ti, 16 gig. It's just, you know, it's not the best 16 gig graphics card, but it's decent enough. 64 gig of RAM, high speed. The CPU i7-14700. It's decent enough. I got this to play the game, basically, because, yeah, I don't know if I've got one of my old videos of one that I did, but it was pretty bad with graphics wise. So yeah, but this looks good. The graphics that I'm on, let's have a look. So this is what I've got. Clouds and fog, disable that. Ambient occlusion, it's all medium. The terrain quality is high, level of detail is high, animation texture quality is high, motion blurs disabled. So yeah, it's decent enough. This could help, but I don't want it yet. And we've got all this on as well, so it's decent. We can show the advanced stuff. I ain't got anti-app. I don't even have that on. So anybody got anything decent to say on how I can improve it, let me know. But I think it looks good. It does what I want it to do without pushing the graphics too hard. But obviously the more mods you use, the more it's going to be even more challenging. Maybe you should use mods rather sparingly in this game, and I'm going for the whole shebang just to get that realistic look and that variation that you wanted. So yeah, the good thing is I can upgrade the computer. I can get an i9 if I want. It's GDDR7, so there's options. There's options for the future. You can go further than 64 gig of RAM. So 128 gig of RAM is my next best bet. I think I can go further than that, so it's not too bad. Obviously the trees are the problem. Them annoying trees that I looked at last time, yes, I've managed to get rid of them, but you can see they're still there here. They don't look good, but these, they don't look too bad, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. Over 115 likes I got from the first photos of that. I haven't put these on yet. I'm going to wait, but I know that the people are now starting to do sponsor boards around the stadiums, so I'm pleased that I've actually managed to have an influence on people. Absolutely. So there was one lad, he built this wonderful stadium. And I just said, it's great, where's your sponsor advertising boards? And he didn't even have the technical area in, and he's put that in as well. So whether he's seen my video and thought, yeah, I can do that, or maybe he's seen the photo and think, yeah, I need to do that. But his advertising boards, he's only got one set down. But that's fine, you know. He can change it if he wants. But yeah, I think like I say, his stadium is a lot bigger than mine, but there's a lot of people out there that are doing stadiums, and they're just, I don't think they've been to stadiums, and they're missing out on a few of the extra little things. So this is like a bar entrance gate thing. We've got like a club shop here, wingbacks sponsor the team, because it's like in football you have wingbacks. I don't like this. I want this moving out, but move it don't work, so that means I'm going to have to move everything around again. But if I move it out, you get a little bit of something in the background that doesn't really work, so I can put like maybe some concrete in, one of those CG blocks, like I've done here, and around here. But yeah, I think dropping the stands is good. It looks okay. for a point. I don't particularly like this bit. I wish there was a stand that just had, you know, the fronting, because you don't need 3. I've got the same problem over here, and we've got gates coming through like here, or entrances, so what are these for, you know? But the only alternative is to get, you know, a smaller grounding. But I mean, it is possible to put that as the base, and then without the roof, and then put this behind it. You'll be okay with that. You'll be able to do that, not a problem. But the roof wouldn't come out to the first part, it'd only come to there. So, and that doesn't look right either. So I think this is about as good as it is going to get. This is not really centre. I tried to move it, and we've already got, you know, something, because that's a bar actually. But I mean, that don't look too bad, you know, that little thing there, because, you know, all the gates do have, some of them do have like railings down the centre. So that doesn't actually look that bad. But of course you've got to be careful of things sticking out here when you're doing this kind of thing. You know, part of the trick is to keep things hidden. So that's all I can really say about that. So that's it in this episode. A bit of a different episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it gives you a bit of inspiration. And we'll see what the next week brings. I mean, what I say I'm going to do and what I do are two very different things. I mean, this game, you know, I think it's like, it's art, it's perfection. And, you know, you've got ideas in your head, and then as you get to them, it changes. So, yeah. One of those. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, because I don't want to spend too long just around this area, so I'm hoping to kind of get this more or less done within the next week or so. But we'll see. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Sayonara, folks.